Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Had a little technical difficulties. Thanks to our IT department, they were able to get me back in.
All right, we can begin when you're ready. Thank you.
Good morning, all, and happy Friday Eve. I'd like to call the Audit, Finance, and Administration Committee meeting for Thursday, August the 14th, 2025. Ms. Bennett, will you please call the roll?
Commissioner Jackson Jennings,
Present.
Commissioner Beach,
Here.
Commissioner Simmons,
Present.
Commissioner Johnson, Commissioner Gladney, Commissioner Moore,
Present.
Commissioner Galladay, and Commissioner Cox.
Here.
Thank
Commissioner
you.
Galladay is here.
Ms. Bennett, can you report on any public comments that were received for the meeting?
No, Chair, there were no public comments that were submitted for today's meeting.
Thank you. Item number 4, approval of the minutes of May 22nd of 2025 AFA open meeting. The minutes have been provided to the committee for review. Are there any corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion and a second to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion passed. Item number 5, contract award, on-call managed service provider for database support. I will call Mr. Tom Curran for comment.
Good morning, Commissioners. This first request is for an on-call managed service provider for database support in our Information Technology Department. In June, Bi-State issued a request for proposals, seeking proposals from qualified managed service providers with expertise in database management for outsourcing daily support activities for Bi-State's database administration team. There are currently only 3 database administrators for Bi-State, as staffing has been reduced at the same time that the team's role is expanding to include management and upgrading of transit systems. The solicitation was sent to 20 firms, and 6 proposals were received in response to the RFP, as shown in your briefing paper. The proposals were determined to be responsive to the RFP, and they were rated by an evaluation committee consisting of individuals from Bi-State's Information Technology team. Following the evaluation, the committee interviewed the top 3 firms, and based on both technical and cost scores, Pythian Services USA was the highest ranked proposal. Management is requesting that the Audit, Finance, and Administration Committee accept and forward to the Board of Commissioners for final approval this request to authorize the President and CEO to enter into a 5-year contract for on-call managed service provider support for database services with Pythian Services USA in the not to exceed amount of $1,866,106. These expenses are part of the annual operating budget, and they're funded through local sales tax appropriations. And I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Are there any questions for Mr. Curran? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion and a second to approve this item as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion passed. Item number 6, contract award, credit card services. I will ask Tom Curran again for comment.
Thank you. This request is for authorization to award a contract for credit card services for a 5-year period. In November of 2023, Bi-State issued a request for proposals from a qualified banking firm to support our procurement card, executive card, travel card, accounts payable, and office supply card services. We received 3 proposals in response to the RFP, which were scored by an evaluation team consisting of members of Bi-State's finance department. Cost proposals were scored separately from the technical proposal scores as usual, but in this instance, the cost proposals were based on a gross average rebate percentage, as Bi-State will receive monies back from this program. As shown on page 13 of your packet, the highest ranking firm based on technical and cost scoring is U.S. Bank. The anticipated rebate amount from this contract, which is an estimate based on the volume of credit card transaction dollars processed during fiscal year 2005, is $144,950. U.S. Bank has the highest gross average rebate percentage of the three proposals at 1.5%. Management is recommending that the Audit, Finance, and Administration Committee accept and forward to the Board of Commissioners for final approval this request to authorize the President and CEO to enter into a 5-year contract with U.S. Bank for the provision of credit card services. Revenue from this contract will be provided in the form of a rebate based on the volume of dollars processed each year. And again, I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
And is that per year, annually, 140, something you just said?
Yes, so that is the estimate based on the amount of credit card activity that we had in the fiscal year that just ended, based on a 1.5% rebate for those transactions. And I did look to see in the details if there was an annual card fee or interest charges, and the answer to that is no. So this is a contract where we will earn money.
Awesome. I'm just curious, what was the next closest? Do you recall as far as percentage wise?
Yes, give me just 1 second to cheat and look. 1.45% from Midland States Bank. So very close. And then JP Morgan was 1.31%.
Yeah, US Bank's a great choice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Kern? Hearing none. Thanks, Mr. Kern. I will entertain a motion and a second to approve this item as presented.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion passed. Item number 7, contract award, health and welfare consultant services. I will ask Ms. Anita Dunn for comment.
Good morning. So regarding agenda item number 7, we are requesting your approval and referral to the board to award a 5-year contract for health and welfare consulting services beginning January 1st, 2026. In April, Bi-State's procurement department issued a solicitation to identify qualified vendors to provide comprehensive benefit consulting services in support of our employees and retirees. A total of 6 qualified proposals were received. After the initial review of all proposals, Alliant and Gallagher Benefit Services emerged as finalists based on the evaluation committee's technical evaluation scores. The finalists were given the opportunity to address specific questions from the committee, the evaluation committee, as well as elaborate on specific areas that they felt set their firms apart. Upon completion of the finalist presentations, we had a consensus meeting to finalize the technical scores and score the cost proposals. Based on the combined overall score, the incumbent, Gallagher Benefit Services, was identified as the best overall choice for Bi-State at a total 5-year cost of $550,000. Therefore, we are recommending that you approve and refer to the board for final approval a request to award a 5-year contract beginning January 1, 2026 to Gallagher Benefit Services for a not to exceed amount of $550,000. And I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you, Ms. Dunn. Are there any questions? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion and a second to approve this item as presented.
So moved. Second.
Thank you. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion passed. Item number 8, Pension Plans 401k Retirement Savings Program, OPEB Trust Investment Performance Update as of June 30th, 2025. I will ask Ms. Carmen Brothers for comments.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm here to present an informational update agenda on item number 8 for our defined benefit pension plans, our defined contribution 401k plan, and other post-employee benefits trust. This update is as of June 30th, 2025. I will start with the 401k plan, which had assets of $116 million as of June 30th, which is up by $7.5 million in contributions and investment earnings, with 6.5 of that being combined employer and employee contributions. Next, I will highlight the salary pension plan, which ended June 30th with assets of $112.2 million, with total investment gains of $7 million. The IBW plan ended June 30th with $8.3 million in assets, with total investments of $0.5 million. We continue to rebalance the investment portfolio to reduce risk in this mature closed plan. The ATU plan ended June 30th with $190.6 million in assets, with total investment gains of $14.1 million. There continue to be negative cash flows due to the number of participants in pay status. And finally, the OPEB trust ended the June 30th assets as of $81.9 million, with total investment gains of $5.4 million. All investment returns are currently meeting their projected discount rate, and all managers are performing at benchmark for the pension plans, 401k plan, and OPEB. All performance plans updates were included as exhibits in your board packet, and with that, I will entertain any questions you may have. And again, this report was for informational purposes only.
Any questions for Ms. Brothers? All right. As stated, this information was presented as information only. Moving on to item number 9 through 12. Internal Audit Department Follow-up Summary, Fourth Quarter, FY 2025. Internal Audit Department Status Report, Fourth Quarter, FY 2025. Internal Audit Department State Safety Oversight Status Report, Second Quarter, CY 2025. Internal Audit Department's Quality Assurance Gap Assessment. These items are being presented as information only, and I will ask Ms. Crystal Messner for comments.
Good morning, Commissioners. For agenda item number 9, that provides an update on the fourth quarter follow-ups. We have 46% that have been closed and 54% remaining open. These are for just internal audit follow-ups and don't include SSO. So there are no overdue internal audit follow-ups at this time. I would like to point out that our goal is 50-50 here, so this is so close, and I just want to thank management and leadership for their involvement and attention to getting these corrective actions completed. Internal audit will continue to work with management and leadership to address the remaining open corrective action plans. For agenda item number 10, this is internal audit status report for the fourth quarter, which as you can see, we have 3 audits in final phases. And internal audit continues to collaborate closely with various departments on special projects, some organizational changes, IT initiatives, and many risk discussions. A major accomplishment of the internal audit department for this past quarter was working with the Institute of Internal Auditors to better align our internal audit department with the new audit standards that were effective in January of 2025. Within this briefing paper is a scorecard that will be utilized each quarter to better align the internal audit department with those IA standards. For agenda item number 11, this details the second quarter of our calendar year for our 2025 state safety oversight activities. The planned audit activities listed were conducted successfully. Audit activities for those 2025 audits for both Metro and Loop Trolley are full underway with interviews and site visits in progress. There was one overdue corrective action plan noted, Recently, Internal Audit and Metro Bus Management have had the opportunity to work together to get this CAP back into an acceptable status. We will continue working with management and frontline staff on all open corrective action plans. Agenda item number 12. As noted above in our status report, the Institute of Internal Audits updated those required audit standards that we are in board policy required to follow. To assist with that alignment and implementation of those new standards, the Internal Audit Department partnered with the IA's independent assessment team to provide us an external quality assurance gap assessment. That assessment provided insight into potential quality assurance improvements and evaluating our department's conformance with the IA's global internal audit standards. The assessment team ranked BSD's internal audit department as low risk in 14 of the 16 categories tested. These rankings determine general conformance to those quality standards. General conformance is the highest ranking category, and this only reinforces and demonstrates the hard-achieved results of the last several years of continuous improvement that's been implemented by the small but mighty internal audit team at Bi-State. So most definitely want to give the team kudos for that because it's their hard work. The internal audit team is working to implement all of those new recommended improvements in our quality assurance and governance practices, and we're addressing any findings and recommendations of that quality assessment within a new internal audit charter, updating policies and procedures, and creation of a quality assurance improvement program. All recommendations on the continuous improvement opportunities will be placed on our follow-up tracker. That's reported out on quarterly, so you will see that in our progress during those times that report out. All of these are presented for informational only, and I'm available for any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Ms. Messner. Are there any questions? Moving on to items number 13 and 14, financial statements and treasurer's report. These items also are being presented as information only, and I will ask Ms. Tammy Paris for comments.
Thank you, and good morning, Commissioners. Today, I'll be presenting a financial update for year ending June 30th, 2025. We have started our FY 2025 audit. Clifton Larson Allen is our audit firm, and they are starting their third year with us of a 5-year contract. The financials are not in final format. We will present the audited financials in the October committee meeting with a request for approval of the board in the November board meeting. And adjustments that still need to be made to the financial presentation today are really our entries for pension and OPEB. So for year ending June 30th, 2025, Executive Services ended the year with income of $4.3 million compared to a budget of $3.8 million. The improved income is primarily due to increased revenue from administrative fees and a reduction in expense for salary and benefits. For the Gateway Arch, we ended the year with income of $2.7 million compared to a budget of $1.6 million. This is the result of increased ticket revenue, improved interest income, and really us controlling our costs. For the riverboat attractions, the riverboat ended the year with income before depreciation of $186,000. This was accomplished through cost management to ensure we stayed in line with our current revenue streams. The St. Louis Downtown Airport income before depreciation was approximately $200,000, and this team also has a close watch and controls costs to produce income based on current revenue streams. Freightway ended the year with a loss of $155,000, and for transit, we ended the year with a loss of $9.5 million. So revenue is down as a result of lower than expected sales tax, passenger revenue, and interest income. And as we've been speaking throughout the year, interest income has been impacted by declining interest rates, but also by the movement of our projects. So we do not have as much funding available to earn interest, and so that's impacting us, but it is a good thing that we are moving those projects. So we're anticipating increased ridership in FY 26 due to the completion of the secure platform project and new fare collection system. So we think this will help to improve our future passenger revenue numbers, and we're currently working on those sales tax revenue projections. The reduction in revenue was offset by lesser than projected operational costs of $8.3 million. With the exception really being wages and benefits that were up $6.5 million. And that's primarily due to the contracts that we negotiated. Also, I want to mention our self-insurance funds. The health insurance enterprise was over budget by $3 million, and that was primarily due to our prescription drug coverage, but we're working on options to lower those costs. And for casualty insurance enterprise, we were over budget by about $3.7 million. And really, we're just kind of struggling. It's a difficult market, and so that's why we're seeing those increases, primarily due to premiums related to excess liability. And then moving on to cash and investments at June 30th. So our by-state directed funds were at $401.6 million with an average rate of return of 4.2%. And trustee directed funds were $32.6 million with a rate of return of 4.1%. And then just noting the fuel hedge, there was a realized loss of $965,000 this year. We budgeted $2.58 per gallon. The cost at the pump was $2.34. But with the hedge, we were still below budget at 2.51%. And so that's where we ended. And that's my report this morning, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, Ms. Parrish. Are there any questions? Hearing none. Moving on to item number 15, procurement report. This item also has been presented as information only, and I will ask Tom Kern again for comments.
Thank you, Chair. The procurement report for the fourth quarter of fiscal year 2025 begins on page 417 of your committee packet, and it has 4 components. The first is the non-competitive procurement trend for the fourth quarter of fiscal year 2025. Non-competitive procurements for the quarter totaled $2.3 million, or just 8% of the total purchase order volume of $28.9 million. During the past 12 months, non-competitive procurements constituted 7.8% of all procurement spending. The second component is the procurement card transactions report. There were no confirmed procedural violations during the fourth quarter of fiscal year 2025. And during this quarter, there were 1,840 transactions made with procurement cards for a total cost of $751,292, or an average of $408 per purchase. The total spend using credit cards for fiscal year 2025 was $3 million, which was a slight decrease from fiscal year 2024, but a 50% decrease from fiscal year 2023. The third report is a list of all contracts over $100,000 for the fourth quarter. The largest of these contracts was our contract with Express Scripts for pharmacy services, followed by a contract with Via River North Transit for micro transit services. And then the final component of the procurement report is the contract modifications report for the fourth quarter of the fiscal year. The modifications involved exercising option years on existing contracts, some service additions to existing projects, and time extensions. And I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have about the report.
Thank you, Mr. Kern. Are there any questions? Hearing none. Moving on to item number 16. Mr. Roach, is there any unscheduled business?
I have none. I can move into my report.
Thank you.
Very good. I will. First of all, I just want to add congratulations to the internal audit team and Crystal Messner. I would point all of the commissioners to that executive summary, which is actually on, I believe, page 285 of your packet. Look, what we are doing is using that internal audit team as a valued advisor. What we are seeing is a continued improvement in the organization and using them as an advisor to help us increase our efficiency. And that team is really very strong and seen as a really strong partner to the entire bi-state team. So I want to congratulate them on reaching that level. Additionally, of general conformance. Thank you. Also, I want to welcome Mr. Ken Sharkey, who is here today. Ken, of course, is one of our best partners with the St. Clair County Transit District. Ken and I actually are meeting this afternoon on several issues, and always welcome to have Ken in the building. look, these are the partnerships that we build and provide transit in Missouri and Illinois, and that's always a welcome point. Speaking of those partners, we had a meeting with Dr. Sam Page yesterday, and we had a meeting with the new mayor of St. Louis just a few weeks ago, talking about transit across the region. They were productive meetings, very, very detailed, also talking about safety and security across the region. What I was really encouraged with is that we have strong, rigorous partners. Yes, we ask and answer hard questions, as we do with this board as well. But all of that is an idea of continuous improvement. And we have to have some criticism in order to really see what we can do well, and we're happy to do that. But speaking of criticism and how the team has really turned things around, I'm really happy to report on our report card from our friends at SMART. And you may remember this is the advocacy group with paratransit services in Missouri. They gave us a report card, and it was, I would say, glowing. Very, very good. Still some improvement. I think we got an A in one category, which I'm very happy about. But I want to congratulate the team that has turned really Colorado around. That includes Louis Lowry, Lisa Cagle, Cynthia Scott, and of course Chuck Stewart. Speaking of Chuck Stewart, I know he's not listening today, but I can report I did talk to him. He got back from his golfing trip in England, and he said he was actually there and was able to win some money. So I know everybody wants to know how Chuck is doing. He sounds great. Let me tell you, he sounds very, very relaxed. But of course, we're moving in to a new era. That is the new era of Ron Forrest. I wanted the board to know that Ron and I have been out going to all of our facilities and holding really essentially team connect meetings. These are meetings literally where I show up, give an introduction for 10 minutes, and then we put a microphone out and we talk to all of our employees. We've done that at all of our facilities, both on Missouri and Illinois. Ron comes with me, and we just kind of open it up and have a good conversation with our employees. And it's a good way to increase that bond of communication, and we've been having really a good time with it. Brenda, can you get my picture up? So I'm trying to lighten this up a little bit, commissioners, and I appreciate it if you would give me this one pleasure. But one of the fun things, if we can get that picture up shortly, is I also had the occasion to go to the DeBoliver facility and honor this lovely young woman. And her name is Anva Burke. Anva has been, that's in the ready room at DeBoliver. Anva has been driving a bus for us for 40 years, right? Now she looks younger than me. Let me just say that, okay? So I don't know how that works, but I mean, let me just tell you that being out in the facilities, especially with Ron and Ron's leadership, who is about running trains and buses, honoring those folks who really do the frontline work is really the fun part of my job. Let me just tell you, this is someone who is the very lifeblood of St. Louis. She's raised a family. She drives a bus every day with a smile on her face. She is simply energy. And I think this is the one thing that really makes Bi-State right and makes Bi-State move. And I want to add my congratulations to Anva Burke and her 40 years of service. Incredible. Thank you, commissioners. That's all I have.
Great report, Mr. Roach. Item number 18, Ms. Bennett, will you give a summary of the upcoming board and committee meeting dates, please?
Yes, Chair. The next Board of Commissioners meeting will be held on Friday, September 19th. The next Safety and Security Committee meeting will be held on Thursday, October 2nd. And the next Audit, Finance, and Administration Committee meeting, as well as Operations Committee meeting, will be held on Thursday, October 16th, with all of the meetings beginning at 8:30 a.m. Also, just as a reminder to the commissioners, a tentative schedule of dates for meetings for 2026 has been sent out. And if you haven't reviewed those yet, if you could, and let me know if those dates work for you, it would be greatly appreciated. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Ms. Bennett. Item number 19, adjournment to executive session. I need a motion and a second for this committee to go into executive session for the purposes of discussing legal, confidential, or privileged matters as permitted under Bi-State Development Board Policy, Chapter 10, Section 10.080, D, I, legal, and D, 10, auditors.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Ms. Benny, will you poll the committee?
Commissioner Beach,
Yes.
Commissioner Galladay,
Yes.
Commissioner Moore,
Yes.
Commissioner Simmons,
Yes.
Commissioner Cox,
Yes.
and Commissioner Jackson Jennings.
Yes.
The motion passed.